Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Puppet Master Month here on Reaction and Review. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, yes, I'm going to be continuing the series. Now, last time I covered Puppet Master 1, so naturally I'm going to just move right on to the next film. It just makes sense instead of me like bouncing around the series. So yes, folks, tonight's film is from 1991, and it was the follow-up to the rather fucking successful Puppet Master, so naturally they had to make Puppet Master 2. Now, similar to the first one, I have no fucking clue about anything in this film outside of the puppets. I was really curious. I did a little bit of research on them. The one thing I know is that they've added a new puppet, and the new puppet is called Torch. And once again, I have only seen images of this fucking thing, and it looks awesome. So I really don't know exactly how Torch is going to be as a character, but at least I know that he is just as badass looking as the puppets from the first film. So, you know, that actually is something worth going into. So I really don't have anything else to say, and I really don't want to waste a whole lot of time with the intro here, because I'm really excited about this one, because I still loved that first film in the series so much. I have really high hopes here. And those high hopes are probably going to come and bite me right square in the ass, because fate has a habit of doing that to me. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out Puppet Master 2. So, the puppets have just brought back Andre Toulon. That's actually a rather interesting direction to take the sequel. So, just, God, I really should have looked into the plots of these. That was rather interesting. Okay. You guys can hear that, right? This scene has some of the most off-putting, like, rednecks I've ever seen. Like, both of them are just creepy as shit, man. Okay, that was a little bit sick. Tunneler is definitely one of the more demented puppets. Jesus Christ. I guess, though, that's sort of what happens when you have a drill for a head. You are bound to do some nasty shit to people. God damn. Okay. I believe I have a new second favorite puppet in this franchise. Torch is fucking awesome, man. That was probably one of the most interesting death scenes I've seen this entire film. However, though, I personally believe that it also is because the person who died, I wanted to die the moment I first saw the character. So, awesome shit, man. Okay, this actually seems a little bit out of place, guys. We now have a flashback, which I guess will explain how fucking Toulon learned how to animate his puppets, I guess. Well, this should hopefully be interesting as long as it doesn't drag the story down. Okay, I totally understand that this actually is not a really vital question, but I have to ask, what kind of parent would give their kids a fucking whip? Like, seriously, this fucking kid's like running around the woods with a goddamn, like, bullwhip. Why? Okay. I would just like to say right now that Toulon is really fucking creepy, man. He just... What the fuck, man? Okay, guys. Toulon has completely lost his fucking mind, and even though he hasn't fully announced what his evil scheme is, it's just based on what I'm seeing. It's really fucking twisted, man. Holy shit. And there's a thunderstorm going on outside. Seems almost appropriate. Okay. That was a hell of a way to end the movie. Unfortunately, I really don't think that any sequel actually takes this ending and runs with it, which is really a shame because that would have made for a great movie. But the only way to find out is to continue watching these films, so who knows. So, that is it for Puppet Master 2. Why don't I pop out the disc? Let's talk about the film, shall we? First of all, early on I stated that I had high hopes for this one. Now, I should mention that I did go into it knowing that it is, after all, a sequel. And as a sequel, you really should not expect as much as the first film. So the very fact that the characters are not quite as deep and the writing is not quite as good, I am totally willing to let all of that slide because it really is a tough act to follow the first Puppet Master. Puppet Master 2 at least does a halfway decent job of it. The acting is really good across the board. There really isn't a single bad actor in the whole thing. So that much is definitely a positive. Special effects. Now in the last episode, I talked about how the stop motion looked really good. And naturally, since this film came out about 2 years later, the stop motion has gotten really good. It has improved by leaps and bounds, which for those who've seen the first movie, that is saying a lot. I mean, because that film had almost perfect stop motion. This one was able to actually top that. The music, once again, the music is haunting and it's perfect for the atmosphere which the film is trying to set. Now, there is one huge complaint I have, and I think it has more to do with the version I'm watching, the one from the Puppet Master Collection box set, and that's the picture quality. Because, you see, the first movie, it looked completely remastered. It looked like a brand new film. The second one, on the other hand, essentially looks like it was taken off of a really old and very poorly maintained VHS tape. Because the picture quality is really, really grainy, and this also affects a lot of the sound effects. And once again, I really have no idea if any of this looks better in other versions that are out on DVD. I really don't know. I really don't know if these are problems which have been around since the fucking VHS release back in fucking '91. But see, when it comes to sound effects, like one huge issue I had was that absolutely everything has this very loud echo to it. And I'm talking everything from footsteps to doors opening to doors closing to shotgun shells bouncing off of the floor. All of it has this really loud, really, really pronounced echo. And it really is kind of bothersome. Plus also the puppets, when the puppets happen to make noise, instead of it just sounding a little bit, rather actually than have it sound a little bit, like ghostly, it almost sounds robotic because this fucking echo has been layered over it. And once again now, there actually are a lot of different versions of these films on DVD, and I really just don't know if the version used in this set was just a bad copy or something. So honestly, I really couldn't tell you much beyond that. Now, see, what else can I cover? The writing. There's one thing which I can easily say, and that is, when you are working with sequels, one of the biggest fears is that your sequel is just going to be a 100% rehash of the first one, which has happened to tons and tons of sequels. And when the movie starts, you feel that is the direction it's going to go, because the first film had a bunch of fortune tellers and psychics and all this other shit who go to this hotel for a reason. Now we have a group of paranormal investigators who are going to the same hotel because because one of the survivors from the first film apparently went fucking like bat shit, and is in a fucking is in like a mental hospital somewhere. So they are going to investigate, and really, it seriously is not a huge leap from psychics to paranormal investigators or ghost hunters or whatever the fuck you want to call them. So it almost feels like it's going to go in that direction, and it actually does sort of. The thing is that they actually do enough things differently where it does feel like a totally new film. One other thing which I can easily gripe on has to be the flashback. And I believe I actually mentioned it earlier in the video. And the flashback runs for about 4 or 5 minutes. And it just scratches the surface of where the hell Toulon got this fucking, like, spell or this, mixture, whatever the hell it is, to actually cause his puppets to come to life. It is very, very shallow, and it really has no point being there. It really just feels like it was there to take up time. I could maybe understand if maybe the flashback was a little bit longer, and perhaps maybe instead of dumping it in the middle of the film when shit's going on, put it at the start of the film, immediately before the puppets bring fucking Toulon back. That actually would probably have made a little bit more sense, just basically to show that he actually did fucking create them, and he actually was the one who gave them life, and they're going to repay the favor by giving him his life back. But no, we actually don't have that. We actually have the film opening with them basically reanimating him. And then about halfway through, we have this little flashback, which just basically shows Toulon's puppets burning, his old puppets burning, and somebody mentioning a spell. But then that is where the flashback ends. I am not even kidding you. I swear to God, they actually could have cut that entire flashback, and the only other reason why it's there is to show you what Toulon's wife looks like and why he's going after the fucking person in the house. That is it, and it seems so shallow. It seems so stupid. And the film would probably have been leaps and bounds better if it didn't have that fucking flashback, and perhaps maybe if the sound effects didn't have that loud-ass echo on them, and perhaps maybe if the characters were just a little bit deeper, because another issue is that the characters are really shallow, and the puppets really weren't fucking utilized too well. And also, 2 of them die, and I'm really not going to spoil which ones, because even with all these issues, I still highly recommend the film. It actually is not a bad movie. It's just nowhere near as good as the first one. But it is still something that I actually could see myself sitting down and watching again. And with this series, that is the one thing which counts, is would you ever want to watch it again? And at least for me, the answer is yes. So if you guys have never seen Puppet Master, and you really want to follow my recommendations, now I actually stated this last time. Now there actually is a DVD out there which has the first 3 films, and you can find it at places like Walmart and Kmart and Shopko and shit like that, usually for about like $7. And seeing as how the first film was so great, and this one kind of sort of dropped the fucking ball a little bit, I still think that one is definitely worth the $7. And so far, this thing is shaping up to actually be worth the purchase if you just want to say fuck it, you want to get the entire series. However, though, there's still another 7 films left. Well, I'm actually only going to be covering 6 more of them, so that actually could easily change if the other sequels wind up really sucking. However, I still have hope. So guys, yes, next time I'm going to be covering Puppet Master 3, and I really do have hopes on that one. And with that, we come to the close of this reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.